Hello everyone. In this session, we will discuss Part 3, Chapter 3, that is Plant Kingdom, Unit 1, Diversity in Living Organisms. In this part, we will discuss general characteristics of bryophytes, different type of bryophytes, that is liverwort and mosses, their characteristics, economic importance of bryophyte, and alternation of generation in bryophytes. Bryophytes, it includes liverworts and mosses. Liverworts and mosses. In rainy season, children, you have seen even in our surroundings, that is, these thalloid structures are seen on moist wall, and little more differentiated structure, a small plant hardly 1 centimeter in height, that these are also seen in moist places. These are known as, that is, mosses, and this one is known as liver-like structure. These are known as, that is, liverworts. Because these are very small in size, they do not need vascular tissue. Xylem and phloem have not been developed so far, but from water they have come on land. Therefore, we may call these are non-vascular, that is, xylem and phloems are absent, and terrestrial plant found in moist habitat. Water is very much essential. These are known as amphibian of plant kingdom. As you know, amphibia, the frog, is found in water as well as on land. Similarly, they need water, but they survive on, that is, land, known as amphibian of plant kingdom. These are first archegonate. We have to discuss in detail. You see, children, archegonia, that is, this is a flag-shaped structure which contains the egg inside. This is female reproductive organ. For the first time, archegonia develops in bryophytes. Therefore, bryophytes are called first archegonate one. And when the egg will fuse with, that is, male gamete, and the zygote is formed, this zygote, for the first time in plant kingdom you are seeing now, zygote develop into embryo. So, embryo is formed for the first time in plant kingdom in bryophytes, and therefore, what we can call this? We can call that this is first archegonate and first embryophyte. These are the important questions which have appeared in examination. The non-vascular terrestrial plant, these are bryophytes. The first archegonate is bryophyte. First embryophyte, these are bryophytes. Okay. These are multicellular diploid sporophyte which lives as parasite on independent multicellular gametophyte. This is very important statement. We have to discuss in detail. You have to wait little bit what we mean by this, because this is given here in NCERT. That's why that importance has been given to here at this place, but I have to explain in detail. The dominant phase of the plant body is free living gametophyte. Let this is the free living gametophyte. This one is. It may be like this and it may be like that. The small, that is, plant about 1 centimeter erect structure. This one is. That is liverwort. That one is moss. They have n number of chromosome, haploid number of chromosome, known as gametophyte, and this is the dominant phase which will remain for a long time in life cycle. Free living gametophyte. Gametophyte is haploid. It is non-vascular. This is independent, and this is autotroph. This is green in structure, and it can do photosynthesis. It originates from spores. The spore which is formed in sexual reproduction, that is, spores will develop either into this structure or this structure. The thallus-like, it may be, this is thallus body. It is prostrate, which is just flat, remain attached to the ground, and it may true stem, leaf or root are absent. This is the erect structure in which, that is, true stem, leaf or root are absent, and I told you vascular tissues are also absent. Roots are absent here, but the purpose of function of the root is done by, that is, rhizoids. Rhizoids, you are seeing, these are found on the under surface, on the ventral side of this structure, and they remain attached to the soil, absorb water and minerals. Rhizoids may be unicellular. It may be made up of only one cell like this, and or it may be multicellular one, that is multicellular made up of so many cells. Usually in mosses, this rhizoid, these are multicellular, and in case of that is these thalloid structure, these are unicellular one. They help in fixation and absorption of water and minerals. Vegetative reproduction is quite common, which is by fragmentation again. That is this thallus, this is a thalloid structure. This thalloid structure that may be divided into so many fragments. Each fragment is able to develop into new plant. While in case of 𝕆𝕋𝔼𝔼, we have to see in detail 𝕆𝕋𝔼𝔼 and 𝕍𝕀𝔻𝔻, that is Funaria, that is 𝕍𝕀𝔻𝔻 is formed, 𝕆𝕋𝔻𝔻 is formed, also pronounced as 𝕍𝕀𝔻𝔻, while in case of mosses, a tubular structure is formed, that is like this, which is very well branched one, and this well branched structure is known as protonema. On this protonema, the buds will be formed, and each bud that will develop into new plant. So I may repeat, vegetative reproduction is quite common. It may be by fragmentation, it may be by gamete, it may be by protonema. Asexual reproduction, important point. Again, asexual reproduction, that is mitospores. You have seen zoospores there in algae are completely absent. Mitospores, again important question, this is are completely absent. Sexual reproduction in bryophytes. Come on. This is oogamous, advanced one. I may tell you here, that is sex organs are multicellular and zacketed. Need some explanation. Male gametangia is known as antheridia and the female one is known as archegonia. You see children in bryophytes, let this is the so-called male reproductive organ, which is multicellular one. It is having a zacket, it is club-shaped structure. It is formed on gametophyte, having n number of chromosomes. It is having the cells inside, which will divide simple by mitosis division. There will be mitosis division, and as a result of which the male gamete will be formed, which is biflagellated, known as antherozoid. So this is known as, that is antheridium, and this is the male gamete known as, that is antherozoid. What is this? This is called antherozoid. This is biflagellated structure. This is the zacket found in case of, that is antheridium. Archegonia, this is the female reproductive organ. Archegonia, this is a flask-shaped structure. That is, this is the solen base known as venter, is it? And this is known as, that is neck. In venter there is lying the egg, means the female gamete that is inside the archegonium. That flask-shaped structure is the female sex organ known as, that is archegonium, and this is the egg, that is this one is female gamete. Now you see water is essential. Therefore the bryophytes, the reason is these are found in moist places, because this male gamete which is formed, it is having flagella. It needs water to swim so that this male gamete can swim in water, film, and that can come, that is close to this female gamete. In a mature archegonium, these neck cells which are found here, they may be dissolved and a thorough passage will be formed, and through this passage the male gamete will come, that will come close to, that is ovum, egg, and will fertilize it. Zygote will be formed. Did you get the basic structure? Can you repeat? Yes, this is oogamous type. The female gamete is static, is not released. Male gametangia, that is sex organs, are multicellular. This is also having, that is zacket-like structure here. These are zacketed. And male gametangia is called antheridium. Female is called as archegonium. Can you remember it now? Antheridia produced motile biflagellate antherozoid. That is, antherozoid is nothing but, that is the male gametes. At maturity, these male gametes will be released here in water film. They will be released here like this, and into water. They are released in water, and where they come in contact with the archegonium. Archegonium, can you repeat once more? This is flower-shaped structure. It has a single egg inventor. Fertilization occurs inside. That's why this is oogamous type, and as a result of which, yes, the zygote is formed. Important thing here, zygote formed, it produces embryo. I can say here that this is the zygote, that is zygote is formed here in Archegonium. Now this zygote will start to develop into a multicellular structure known as that is embryo, right? So embryo is formed for the first time in kingdom plenty in bryophytes. Embryo, because here the number of chromosome is 2n, this is a diploid structure. Therefore, in time to come, embryo may develop into that is a two diploid structure known as that is sporophyte, or also known as sporogonium. What is important? Zygote produce embryo into the Archegonium. Therefore, these are first embryophytes. The embryo grow into sporophyte, which is a diploid structure known as sporogonium. The sporophyte is dependent upon gametophyte. See the first point, what earlier you have seen, this point, multicellular diploid sporophyte, which lives as parasite on independent multicellular gametophyte. You see, children, now, that is, this is a thalloid structure that we are talking about, that this is the Rachia 1. You have to see detail. Here, this is the gametophyte 1. Gametophyte is independent and it is autotroph. It is doing photosynthesis. This is green and this one is that is independent. What's about the sporophyte? Sporophyte is formed on this because the Archegonium, that is on gametophyte, it is taking food from gametophyte. That is, embryo is also depending upon gametophyte. Is it clear? So you see here, come on, that is sporophyte is dependent on gametophyte. Very important statement. The dominating phase is gametophyte. Sporophyte is, that is, it is parasite on, or it is depending upon. Sporogonium, you see this is sporogonium or sporophyte. Now in sporophyte there will be the meiosis division. As a result of this meiosis division, the haploid spores will be formed, and again that is the life cycle will be started. Sporogonium produces haploid spores by that is meiosis, and which are attached to the, that is inside the capsule. Capsule is attached to the gametophyte, and on germination the spore will make the gametophyte. These spores have been produced here, and these spores will again develop into this haploid structure, that is sporophyte. Is it very much clear? Now, you see, life cycle pattern in bryophyte, this is haplontic 1. Haplontic. Is it haplontic? No, this is haplodiplontic 1. Haplontic was found therein, that is algae, haplontic. Haplontic means that the gametes, male and female gamete, will fuse. They will result in the formation of that is zygote. Zygote is a unicelled structure and it will divide by that is meiosis, and again this dominating phase will be formed. That is haplontic. Means the 2n phase will come only for a short while, and this is unicellular 1. Here this is haplodiplontic, means that is this is gametophyte. This is gametophyte, dominating phase. It will make the gametes, male and female. Is it? Male and female gamete will fuse. They will make the zygote. Zygote will develop into that is sporophyte, right? A sporophyte that will divide by meiosis. As a result of meiosis, the spores will be formed and the spores will develop into this. So you see, children, this very phase is that is diploid. The diploid phase is also that is multicellular, and this is known as that is haploid 1. So both phases are there, distinct phases are there, but the dominating one is, which is the dominating one? Haploid phase. that is gametophyte is dominating one, and therefore this is known as haplodiplontic type. Heteromorphic means morphologically we can identify that is this one is gametophyte, and inside the gametophyte there is sporophyte. Okay. Come to the classification now. In the beginning I told you that bryophyte includes liverworts and mosses. So classification, the two we have, one is 𝕆𝕋𝔼𝕆, one is bryopsida. It includes liverworts. Usually the liverworts, these are thyloid structures. They do not have more differentiation, while in case of bryopsida, the mosses, they have a central axis. This is not true stem. These are the rhizoid structure, and we have that is spirally arranged leafy structure, that is moss. But that is small in size, about 1 centimeter. So liverworts, some of the important examples of liverworts are, that is Riccia, Markensia, Pilia and Anthoceros. While the mosses, one is Funaria, commonly known as cord moss, one is Polytrichum, known as hair cup moss, and this is Sphagnum, known as peat or bog moss. Now we have to say two major divisions of bryophytes. That is, one is liverwort, detail of this. As I told you, liverwort, 𝕆𝕋𝔼𝕆, the plant body is thyloid. The two important examples we have here, one is Riccia, one is Markensia. That is thallus. This is dorso-ventral symmetry. Upper side is known as dorsal side. The ventral side is, that is lower side. That is dorso-ventral symmetry. It is just like a flat structure. Ventral side of the thallus, they have multi-celled scales are there. That is, multicellular scales are there, which will prevent loss of water, and uni-celled rhizoids. In case of 𝕆𝕋𝔼𝕆, the rhizoids, which are root-like structure, which will do function of fixation and absorption of water and minerals, these are uni-celled. Can you remember? In mosses, the rhizoids, these are, that is multi-celled one. Remember it, no? That is multi-celled scales and unicellular rhizoids. The thallus has two distinct zones. If we cut a transverse section, then this thallus, it is having the upper zone and the lower zone. In upper zone we have that is asymmetry region, which will do photosynthesis, and here the lower portion, or the, that is on ventral side, the food will be stored. That is known as, that is assimilatory region, and on ventral side it is having, that is storage region. Asexual reproduction is by fragmentation or by specialized structure called gamete. You know, if this is, that is liverwort, just like Riccia is there, like this, it may be divided into fragments. Each fragment will develop into the new one. But little more elaborated structure we have in case of Markensia. You see, Markensia, that is, these are 8-shaped structure. In Markensia, what is there? In Markensia, let this is Markensia here, like this. On upper surface, that is a depression is there, known as, that is 𝕆𝕋𝔼𝕆. And in 𝕆𝕆𝔼𝕆, that is 8-celled structure like this, stalked structure which are produced here, and they will be released, that is outer side, which will develop into the new plant. I may summarize it. That is what are specialized structure in Markensia. These are 8-shaped, stalked, green, multicellular, asexual buds, developing in a small receptacle known as 𝕍𝕆𝔼𝔼 on dorsal side of the thallus. Each 𝕍𝕆 germinate to produce 2 thalli, means that will be released, and these two structures will be separated, and they will develop into the 2 thalli in Markensia. Is it clear? In Markensia, you have to remember important question, that is asexual reproduction is by, that is by gamma formation. You see here, these are the 2, that is thalli, that is so-called Markensia. This Markensia, that is here we have male and female thallus are different. While in case of Riccia, you see, In case of rhizia, if I'll make the diagram of rhizia, this is the dorsal portion, and here that is on the same, that is Antheridium and Archegonium. These are produced by the same thallus. It means that is rhizia. This is what? This is monoecious. That is both male and female are found on the same plant. While in case of Markensia, that is Archegoniophore. One more thing. Here the sex organs, these are found inside the thallus. These are found inside the thallus in case of rhizia. While in case of Markensia, what is there? That is this stalk-like structure will appear, which will become aerial, known as Archegoniophore. We have seen on Archegoniophore that this inverted, that is, this is the stalk, and this Archegonium, which are facing downward, will be formed. In the same case, that is in case of male, that will be known as monoecious condition. That is, stalk will be there on an anthridiophore, and on anthridio, in the same way, that is this club-shaped structure, anthridium will be formed, which will make this, that is male gamete. It's not there. So here, important, this is monoecious, while the Markensia, that one is, this is dioecious one, right? Anthridia, Archegonia are scattered, found embedded in dorsal side in case of rhizia. Is it clear? While in case of, that is, may be projected from thallus. This is the projected from thallus, that is stalk receptacles called anthridiophore and Archegoniophore. And you have to remember that is, these are dioecious one, this one is monoecious one. Sporophyte, here the egg, in this case the egg will be formed here in Archegonia, which will develop into zygote, and the zygote will develop into sporophyte. That is, sporophyte is in capsule, this is having seta, and this is the food. In Markensia, the sporophyte is differentiated into foot, seta, and capsule, while in this case, that is, this is the Archegonium, that is, it has only, that is, capsule, that is, sporophyte is represented only by capsule. Okay, that is, in this case, they produce spores by meiosis. Spores will germinate to develop into thalloid structures. Either here, that is, they will divide, the spores will be released, and the spores will develop into the, that is, new thallus. The same case will be for Markensia. This is about is liverwort. Come to the next now. This is mosses. Mosses, they have little elaborated structures. They have, you are seeing a central, that is, axis is there, which that resemble to stem. It is erect. It is having, that is, branched and multi-celled rhizoid root-like structure, and these are the spirally arranged, that is, leaf. So here, this is the rhizoid, this is the main axis, this is the leaf, and this is, that is, gametophyte. In time to come, here the male reproductive organ will be formed. On a side branch, that is, female Archegonia will be formed. That is, the antherozoids will be released. What will happen here on this plant? That is, what will be? That is, the zygote will be formed, and then zygote will develop into, that is, sporophyte. You are seeing here, this is sporophyte, which is depending upon, that is, gametophyte. It is divisible into seta and capsule. Here there will be what? That is meiosis division. Spores will be formed. An important thing here is, the spores that doesn't give direct to this, spores germinate into a tubular structure, very branched one, green one, which has having the buds, and the buds ultimately develop into new plant. That very structure is known as protonema. So can you remember? Protonema is found only in case of mosses. This is creeping green structure, branch structure, and spores germinate here. Gametophore, that is, this is gametophore. This one, gametophore, the main dominating one, it is erect, bearing spiral arranged leaf. Rhizoids are multicellular. I told you, branched this one. Vegetative reproduction is by fragmentation or by budding on secondary protonema. Sex organs develop on, that is, apex of the leafy shoot. I told you right now. And the moss, you see that the moss, this is the sporophyte, that is, in sporophyte, this one is the capsule. It is having elaborated structure inside the ovule. These are the spore mother cell, which will divide by, that is meiosis division. And here it is having the teeth-like structure. Detail is not required. It means it is having elaborated mechanism of spore dispersal. The spores will be dispersed, which will develop into that is protonema. Is it right? Come to the next now. That is economic importance. Again, bryophytes are ecologically very important question. What we mean by? Children, you see, if this is a bare rock, nothing was there. Initially, what will develop? Lichens will develop. Then lichens in plant succession will be followed by, that is mosses. So they have to play important role in ecological succession. Bryophytes are ecologically important, but the little economic importance are there. They prevent soil erosion because that is this mat-like structure will be formed, that is which will prevent the fast flow of water. Therefore, they prevent soil erosion. Mosses play important role in plant succession, I told you right now. Dry sphagnum, that has great water absorbing capacity. It is used by gardeners to keep seedling moist. If cut plant parts or seedlings are to be transferred from one place to another place, to keep the roots rhizoids, that is moist, dry sphagnum is used. And the sphagnum, that is in due course of time, that will get buried in soil, will make the peat just like coal this is, and it is used as fuel and also used as, that is, good manure.